You're listening to The John and Heidi Show. Now, featuring the wit and wisdom of Dan Ferris.
Okay, dudes, let's walk this sucker.
On Sunny 93.3.
It's the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Ferris. Good day to you on this Wednesday. It's a Wednesday.
John looks forward to
He
it.
does.
I do.
It's his favorite.
Oh,
You know how awful Mondays and Tuesdays are here? I'm like, oh, I got nothing.
Just
Got nothing to do.
slog through and
But then I got Wednesday, followed by Thunder Road Thursday, followed by Free Flag Friday. So
Good couple of days
I'm
there.
saying somebody's got to step up and help me make Monday and Tuesday worth doing.
I'll put my team on it, John. Do a little R&D, see what we can do.
Somebody listening is going to call and say, I got an idea. Let's do this.
Wednesday winners coming up in just a few. Happy National French Fry Day.
Ooh, I love
Always a
that.
big day. French fries everywhere. I mean, what restaurant you go to where you can't get an order of fries, right?
It's
you remember
got to
when
be
they
the right
quit
kind of
calling them-
fries,
It does.
otherwise they're no good.
Remember a while back they quit calling them French fries? They were freedom fries for just a short while.
That was years ago because
Was
it
that
had
too-
something to do. We were in some kind of
Shift with
skirmish
France.
militarily with somebody. I don't remember
Didn't like France
what.
for a bit.
But France, like, they wouldn't give us the green light for airspace or something or another.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think it was after 9/11.
So what we did is, well, we threw a snit.
You know, I said,
Is what we did. And if you've ever thrown a snit as an entire country,
I've done it.
It gets fairly snittage.
I throw snits from time to time.
John, you're
John's
insane.
he's the king of them.
And so we decided collectively as a nation to rename them
Freedom fries.
Freedom
That
fries.
showed them,
It
considering
did.
they had nothing
the
to do
French
with French
buckled
fries.
immediately.
Actually, in France, they go, I don't know if you know this, but they're not even
We
named
didn't- we
after
didn't
But
us.
like-
as
French fries.
usual, France surrendered immediately.
They're waving the white flag, and they don't even know why.
There you go. So there you go. National French Fry Day or Freedom for whatever you want to call them.
Nice.
Who doesn't love them? Who has birthdays today? I'm glad you asked. Talk about an acting career. Holy cow, when you think about it. He got to be Han Solo and Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford.
Heck
Oh,
of
yeah.
a career.
Can you believe he's 80 today?
Is he really?
Yeah, again, he's one of those guys where you go,
Just
no,
looks amazing,
He's
always.
about 42,
Yeah.
right in there somewhere. Let's see, Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
I always liked him.
Yeah, he took the Enterprise away from Kirk, which I thought
did.
was kind of nasty. Patrick Stewart is 82 today.
Nice.
And you know him, you love him. Maybe, anyway, came up with a little thing in 1975, became the biggest selling toy of all time. Hungarian inventor Erno Rubik.
Oh, the
The
Rubik's,
Rubik's Cube.
Yup.
It took him like
is,
a week to solve the first one.
Who
Did you know?
knows? He's like
did.
78 today, but holy cow. You couldn't get away from those things.
Oh, they were
yeah.
everywhere.
And they still kind of are.
Yep. Yeah.
There's a scene in
That was
a
a
movie.
big deal.
What was the movie called? Pursuit of Happiness. There's a scene in there when those were brand new and the guy was in the cab and he solved it in a cab ride. And that's where the other guy realized this dude's pretty smart. So, yeah, I'm just trying to do my part to help Dan. Dan just look at me aghast.
I
you
just,
shut up?
for those of you viewing at home, I'm just shaking my head.
I'm
What do I
sorry.
do? Speaking of inventions, this day in 1836, United States patent number 1 is issued.
Ooh.
What's interesting is there were actually 9,957 patents granted beforehand, but they had never numbered them.
Oh.
Interesting, isn't
That
it?
is interesting.
So it was the first one assigned an actual number.
Patent number one.
Wow.
And it was for locomotive wheels.
Oh, wow.
Fascinating.
How did locomotives get around before they had wheels?
That's a great question.
That is a great
Skids.
question.
And it was 1923, the iconic Hollywood sign
Oh, yeah.
is dedicated in the hills above L.A. Originally read
Hollywood
Land.
Yeah.
Did.
But the last 4 letters were dropped after a 1949 renovation.
Huh. That's when they came down.
Yep. And in 1994, you know where you were. This is the story. It still keeps on giving. This was crazy from the world of sports. 94, Olympic skater Tanya Harding's ex-husband Jeff Gillooly sentenced to 2 years in the slam for kneecapping Olympic skater
Man,
Nancy
that was an
Kerrigan.
epic time to be alive, to watch all that stuff
It was
unfold.
One of the strangest. It's like,
It was pretty
like,
great.
Who thought of this? What?
The movie, and I don't know how
It
true
was so great.
it is, but I Am Tanya, that was such a phenomenal movie. And I watched that, and I feel bad for Tanya. I don't know if it's all
of
accurate.
John's commentary has to do with
Movies.
movies and TV shows he's
In
seen.
that movie.
And he's the only one who even knows what they are.
It's a great movie. Mm-hmm. It was really good.
Thanks for chiming in, John.
You're welcome.
Fantastic, John. Appreciate it. Without you adding to what I do, I'd have no reason to get out of bed, John.
I do my best to add a little flavor.
It's pretty crazy. All right, I know, you know, we all know, and we just bounce ahead here.
Going to do that. It is the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Ferris.
Whoa, what's going on here?
It's your Mintervention, sweetie.
My what?
I'm with Mint Mobile. Your family and friends are concerned about your expensive wireless plan.
I don't even have Mint Mobile.
And we want to fix that. Right now, you're paying too much. With Mint Mobile, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month.
Really?
Yeah. Get nationwide coverage for less. Plans start at just $15 a month.
Learn more now at mintervention.com. Coverage not available in all areas. New activation and a 3-month plan required. Additional restrictions may apply. See terms at mintervention.com. Time for a bright spot of news, and I am excited to have Brent Baker joining us in the studio once again. We're going to talk about the real estate market in Sioux Falls. Brent, how you doing, sir?
I am doing well.
And you're with Clients First Group, Keller Williams in Sioux Falls. How long have you been a realtor?
I think it's for sure 14 years. I'm not even sure anymore.
Yeah, a while. You sold a couple of homes, haven't you?
A couple, yeah.
A couple in the last week. No, we're going to talk about, like, when it comes to people buying a home and selling a home, there's all kinds of considerations that people maybe need to think of. But what's the biggest decision when thinking about housing, when you're thinking of either buying or selling?
You know, a lot of people get wrapped up in the individual decisions, and I've seen people struggle for so long. And I just did an open house the other evening, and I had quite a few visitors, and a lot of them have never owned a home before. And the questions that come up are always interesting, but the reality is the largest question that they face really is when they're sitting on the sofa in mom and dad's basement or in an apartment is, do I want to continue in this path, or do I want to own a home?
Yeah.
Own and control my environment. That's the biggest decision. After that, the decisions get easier. I've had a lot of people struggle over writing an offer. The reality is, once you've made the decision to become a homeowner, you go out and do the other steps.
Nice. So what is that? I made the decision. I want to be a homeowner. What are the next steps?
The next step is an either or. It's either find a realtor that comes strongly recommended. So talk to people who have recently purchased a home.
I recommend Brent Baker.
Well, I appreciate that. Love those referrals.
Yeah, me too.
That's how I make a living.
Nice.
Or go find a good lender that's been recommended.
Yeah.
And one or the other, because either one can refer you to the other that they've worked with. And it should be somebody that they've worked with and had a good relationship and experience with. So if you start off with a lender, then that lender will guide you to the first steps about how to qualify and the things you need to provide the lender to qualify for a mortgage.
Nice.
And then they can tell you some realtors and ask for multiple names.
Yeah.
I don't have just one particular banker that I work exclusively with because not everybody fits together.
Yeah.
And likewise, if you go first, get a realtor. Find a realtor that somebody has recently worked with, and that realtor can provide names of lenders that they've worked well with.
And you're going to want to get the lending part in place right away, because if you're making offers and you haven't even done that step, it's kind of pointless, isn't it?
It's very pointless. There's no confidence on the part of the seller to work with a buyer who has not been to the bank.
Yeah.
And really, a buyer agent shouldn't be writing offers without a letter in hand. I mean, it's just a bad experience because occasionally things come up. And sometimes people have eyes that are much bigger than their wallets.
Yeah.
It's not like buying a car.
Yeah.
It really is not.
Absolutely. Now, you'd mentioned if you're talking to somebody about getting more than one name of realtors, getting a couple of different ones to see, is it common to work with more than one realtor, or do you typically work with just one realtor?
You can only work with one realtor.
Okay.
There are people who think, well, I'll just shop around and I'll just use whoever finds me the house. The challenge is now you have no loyalty, so why would a realtor invest their time?
Yeah.
And, they have expenses too. We have expenses that people are surprised at. But if they're not going to be loyal to a realtor, and there is what's called agency. Nearly every state has what's called agency, and it's a legal binding relationship.
Yeah.
And that agent is charged with doing their absolute best. Their fiduciary responsibilities are owed to that buyer or that seller.
And as a buyer or a seller, we appreciate that too. That's a good thing, really.
Right. Because now we have responsibilities that if there was no commitment, then you're completely an island as a buyer or a seller trying to do it without.
So now let's say we get past that step. I picked out a lender, and I picked out my realtor, Brent Baker, and it could be whoever. I'm saying Brent Baker because that's who I pick. What's the next step? What is the next step in the process?
Okay, then it's time to have a consultation between that realtor and that. In this case, we'll stick with buyers for today. Is to sit down in a conference room or someplace and literally walk through the different steps of buying a home. What are the documents involved? What are some of the other things that get tied to it? Because sometimes there are differences in the types of mortgages, so there's different requirements. But to just have a general flow chart, and that's something we're working to develop now that we can hand out, so a visible flow chart.
Yeah.
And so people understand how this will affect their lives in the timelines.
And we have more questions, but we'll ask those next week because we are all out of time. If you would like to reach out to Brent Baker, you can find him online at clientsfirstgroup.com.
Join us in October for The Sands, a week of music and fun that's been described as the best week ever by many of our guests. This year, we have more icons and more fun. Culture Club, The Cult, Loverboy, Belinda Carlisle, Lou Graham, Vanilla Ice, Samantha Fox, Firehouse, and many more. Plan to join us October 25th through the 30th at Planet Hollywood Beach Resort in Cancun, Mexico. This all-inclusive event will be the time of your life. Learn more now at radiotravelgroup.com.
And now stuff Dan finds interesting.
It is time for Stuff Dan Finds Interesting. Dan, what do you find interesting on this Wednesday?
You know, I think we mentioned, was it late last week that after a 2-year hiatus, the Running of the Bulls is back in Pamplona, Spain.
Oh, yeah, we did talk about that.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about the history of that and the number of people who've been killed by bulls and blah, 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 blah. And again, this goes on for, I think, a better part of a week. So there isn't just one running.
Yeah,
there's
several.
Consecutive runnings. Well, we have an update. Now, this thing actually wraps up tomorrow.
Okay.
But Spanish Red Cross spokesman come out and said, so far 3 people have been gored.
Ooh.
Well.
3 others severe bruises. In the 5th running of the festival. That happened actually Monday.
Okay.
It's his first run with gorings in the festival so far this year. Again, it wraps up tomorrow. So far, no deaths. Red Cross worker Jose Albarra told Spanish national television, which I watch at home, that one man was gored on the street while 2 other men were stabbed by bull's horns inside. This is the part I love best. Inside the bull ring at the end of the run. This is what I love about this. They cut 6 to 8 to 10 bulls loose.
Right.
They run, and it's through the little narrow cobblestone paths of Pamplona.
Which are dangerous to even walk on, by the way.
The route's about the length of 3.5 football field, something like that.
Okay.
But then it empties into this little arena.
Yeah.
Right.
Where your participants, well, their options are now somewhat limited.
Right.
And the bulls are really mad at
They're
this point.
mad.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where most of the injuries happen. It's like, okay, we're going to open the gate. You're going to go, well, it's kind of like a circle crossfire thing. And good luck to you boys.
Somebody's going to get hurt. Let's hope it's not you.
Roll the cameras. So,
Isn't that
yeah,
crazy?
so far.
Could you imagine getting an event like this greenlit in the United States?
Again, and I don't
Here's
know why
what we want to do.
Because, again, as a younger man, I would have done this in a heartbeat. Just because, why not?
But with the lawsuits that we have in this country, there's just no way.
Other runners have been treated for other minor injuries sustained during falls. Some people have just run into walls. That's my favorite part.
Yeah.
I love watching videos of guys, man, trying to dodge and weave, and all of a sudden they just bang, slam their face into a window.
Yeah.
Have another shot of Cuervo there, Jose. Go nuts. So, yeah, I thought I'd give you a little update here. Again,
Very nice.
Things wrap up tomorrow, and maybe we'll have a final tally on Friday.
Nice. That'd be. We'll have a body count.
Absolutely.
So. It is a Wednesday.
It is a Wednesday. Yeah. We've got a big show.
I love the 90s.
Coming up.
It's going to be great.
Friday, September the 9th, 7:30 p.m. at the Denny Sanford Premier Center
we
in
have
Sioux Falls.
A pair of tickets to that event. And that's at the premiere. So it's a big
deal. It is Vanilla Ice, Coolio, Rob Bass, Montel Jordan,
so
All for
great.
One, and more.
And more. The all important and
more.
Hey, Katie Travis.
Woo! All right, Katie.
Final winner, by the way.
Way to snag our last pair to that event. Katie
I already
Travis.
pried that off our Facebook and our website and everything. So, yeah, got our final winner.
All right, fantastic.
And Dan, thank you for coming in. We appreciate it a bunch.
My pleasure, John, and thank you again for everything.
I do what I can.
You help me out.
I try to just fill in any little cracks that might be there.
You're a giver, and I'm not worthy.
And once in a while, I'm even accurate. So there you go. All right, it's the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Ferris.
What can I say that I haven't already said about BetterCreditCards.com? It's a website. You go there to get a better credit card. Okay, that's really probably all I need to say for most of you, but I still have time left, so how about this? At BetterCreditCards.com, we have different kinds of credit cards, some with better points and perks, some designed to help you build your credit. Whatever stage of life you happen to be in, we want to help. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Wednesday, July 13th, 2022. And now we wait. The market had a choppy day, but not even Pepsi's bubbly guidance was enough to keep stocks in a positive territory. Oil was down as concerns over another COVID lockdown in China gained steam, and the yield on the 10-year continues to fall as many investors fly to the relative safety of government bonds. All of this could have to do with the strength of the U.S. dollar. The greenback is having itself a month, which is good news if you're planning a European vacation. The only thing that seems clear is that investors are bracing for the June CPI data. That comes out Wednesday before the market opens. The White House and many analysts seem to be conceding that the number will come in hotter than expected. And if it does, a 75 basis point hike by the Federal Reserve later this month will be the least of investors' concerns. But what if the number is in line with prior expectations? The stock market is already pricing in high inflation. Anything resembling less bad news may be just the tonic the market needs. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com.